So, what did you expect? You think they would indulge and marry one of you all after what you put them through? I mean, I'm being fair. This isn't simping. You know me. Some of you that see my videos know what I'm talking about. I'm just being fair. Let's go back. I remember when they were on the come up. Boy, they weren't even considered to be desirable by their own fraction, their own sector. That would be the brothers. In fact, no, a lot of brothers respected the physique of a Serena Williams. But funnily enough, this bit gets tricky actually. The general opinion is that blick folk, men, dissed Serena and Venus, when really men admired Serena's body, physique, and it was actually the other side that said she was like a man. In fact, they said, no, she should not play against other women because she's got man-like strength. That's what they said. Okay, so that's the reality. So to say that it was the brothers that downed them, yes, it's true, but so did the other side. Okay, let's be fair. Okay, that's the point taken there. So, but another thing to look at really, and I'm gonna say this, yeah. Obviously, they're from the hood. They moved up, but didn't the dad once say at one time he objected to his daughters, or furthermore, the whole concept of dating out, hopping the fence. He was against that. Well, look how that ended up. You know what I mean? So, really and truly, both of them have hopped the fence, as it were. So, I wonder how he's living with that. Maybe, just maybe, it may be a little bit of get back. Because from what I know, he left the mum and then remarried. He got involved with some young girl. There's a bit of a drama from what I remember. Some nonsense. She might try to blackmail him. And because of that whole rigmarole, and the fact that what happened to the sister, all these little shenanigans, if I was them, I'd think, F you too to the community. And obviously, if these Claire brothers, one has great credentials, he's the founder of Reddit, and so fair dues. So if these guys have the credentials and it's all good, why not? They don't know the hood nothing. Let's go back to 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Was it when Yatunde Price, the half sister of both Serena and Venus, was tragically unalived in a drive-by in Compton, California, September the 14th, 2003. Okay, there you go. Obviously, that is like it says here. That obviously had a deep effect on the family, losing their obviously close sister, half sister, whatever. So yeah. So there you go. In the gang-ridden Compton area where the Williams family grew up. So their own hometown where they grew up. Their own people are taking them down. So what do they owe you then? Why should they keep it that well then? So what's we moaning for? What are you crying for? Does that make sense? But hey, let me go to the Facebook comments because there's some brilliant comments on this one. And yeah. So yeah, let me jump on the Facebook comments. Before I do, to add a little bit of a, before I do it, and add a little something to the whole conversation. Venus was the one married to Andrea Pritti. That's an Italian name, whatever. Italian guy. And Alexis Hahn, the Reddit founder, is now married to Venus. But anyway, comments. Here's a good one. The husbands look like twins. Yeah, a lot of them girls like that. They call them dark-haired W boys. They like all that, They go for that. At least the hair's black. This was their circles. Yes, their circles. They move in now. They've elevated. They left the hood. They moved up, and that's the circles they move in. Don't forget, tennis is very clear orientated, as it were. So yeah, we don't get mad enough to complain about who marry us. Good point. The marriage rates in your community are very low. But then again, I can argue that comes down to the woman's choice of man. Okay? End of. Just like Serena, I bet Richard wasn't there to give her away. I don't blame him. I don't know if Serena was there or not, but again, maybe he doesn't approve. He does not approve. Who knows? Yeah, out of all the pictures she posted, her father was not in any of them. And only I saw her mother in one of them. There you go. There you go. The reply to that is, guess they don't like their dad's complexion. Yeah. Obviously, Serena can do a little quick walk in Wimbledon, do all that. But, you know what I mean? End of the day, that's all for show. She knows where her bread's buttered, and obviously, yeah. The Reddit founder's obviously her husband now. Look at how brothers have talked about them since they were teens. What do you really expect? Exactly. That's my point. But at the same time, not all brothers were saying that. You know, so it's a misnomer to say that. When all you'll have known is broke, and I don't mean financially, you aim higher. Yeah, but I could argue they became wealthy with their own right. So they're not broke anymore. They're wealthy. So that's a different kind of thing. That's a different debate entirely. I mean, when brothers had a chance, you'll sexualize them and focus on their cheeks, not their athletic abilities and talents. Okay. Don't know what that's to do with the conversation, but hey, the YT man ignored the cheeks, focused on their talents and how to make them bigger. The booty was just extra to them. They wanted to be wives, not baby mamas. So they went where they could be just that. Wives first. Plenty of brothers would have made them wives too. Let's not be silly now. That's a bit of a silly comment, really. Come on. Daddy still showed up looking like Mr. from Colour Purple on his way to check the mailbox. Shake my head. Fair enough. I know you're not on here acting like these women were not made fun of. They dated their own, but who proposed? BLACK women have finally broadened their horizons. Human race has lots of choices for love. Congratulations, girls. Good comment. Neither of those men would have married them when they lived in Compton. Yeah, because they were poor and broke, and they stayed within the Compton circles, within that environment, within that culture. And when it truly, yeah, those men would have probably not got involved with them. That's true. The brothers had their chance, but I've addressed that already. Here's a good one. Sisters are funny because they get mad when brothers do this. When it's them, it's good for you, girl. Exactly. That's a known double standard with them, but hey, what do you expect with them? Money marries money. Relationships in your tax bracket. To an extent, yes. But as I've said before, how many times have we seen a wealthy Shamika Jones drive around with the pookster in her car and do stupidness? You know what I mean? At least men with money don't do that. Men with money don't drive around with a busted Shamika and do stupidness. Okay? Right. Anyway, let me wrap it up there. And yeah, there's so many good comments. All you're seeing is this new wave of BW selling out to Massa. They've been telling us for years they wanted whitey men, and now we're seeing the result of it. Exactly, they're going home. That's going to be a future video of mine. Basically, they're going home to Massa. That's all it is. Well, there's quite a few good comments here. But hey, let me leave it there. One more for the road. Venus and Serena have both played the race card in the past. So, rather interestingly, they both opted to marry these simp-type Claire dudes, despite their BLACK father encouraging them to be top tennis players in the world. You think that they'd have more faith in the Blick man? I've answered that. The same Blick man that mowed down their stepsister. Yeah. Alright then, let me wrap it up there. Later.